steady now.
It's always hard to judge a game that shows ambition. The gaming industry has thrived on innovation, creativity, and experimentation. But at the same time, there's always the risk that they'll fail to gel into a satisfying game. Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure, a collaboration between fashion designer Marc Ecko and The Collective, unfortunately falls into the latter category. Despite a unique story, melding of multiple game elements, and distinctive style, uneven game mechanics and frustrating level design saps a lot of fun out of this game, drowning the better components under tedium. Train, an amateur graffiti artist who runs away from home, looks to make his name by painting the walls with his work. Butting heads with both a rival gang artist led by the obnoxious Gabe and the government-led CCK who oppress poorer cities with violence, Train must build up his credibility by meeting legends of the scene and painting his masterpieces in guarded places. The story is one of the stronger parts of the game, with Talib Kweli delivering a solid performance as protagonist Train. While some of the twists are predictable, and the dialogue can be cringeworthy, the mix of Orwellian oppression and gang warfare leads to a unique meld, and the creatively directed cutscenes keep the narrative flowing well. On the surface, Getting Up has a mishmash of gameplay styles which could work. Divided into just over 10 chapters, each level usually focuses on tagging an area while navigating the environment using platforming, sneaking around, and taking out goons using either stealth or your fists when necessary. Tags reward reputation, depending on how quickly you spray, whether there are drips from painting on a spot too much, and if you expand to a bigger tag, with more risk of messing up. Dotted around the level are extra tags, which can be uncovered using a special vision, as well as iPods which reward extra songs, golden cans which increase your spraying duration, and upgrades to your health and stamina. There's a large density of missions available, and this may lead you to believe Contents Under Pressure has the tools to succeed.
I'm Karen Light. We've just received an update on the civil unrest at 24th and Main. According to the mayor's spokesman, the CCK raided a group of armed street thugs attempting to steal expensive satellite dishes. No officers were hurt and several arrests were made.
That's not how it went down.
Unfortunately, once you begin to pick apart Getting Up's mechanics, things start to go awry. Platforming feels cumbersome when compared to its competitors of the time, with the restrictive camera combining with uneasy controls to make steering Train harder than it should be, resulting in difficulty changing his position and hampered vision when attempting a jump. It's not too bad initially, but once more hazardous sequences come to the fore, you'll find yourself dying cheap deaths. Stealth is even worse, with inconsistent AI and poor stealth inputs, which often see Train punching a chap you are trying to perform a stealth knockout on. Those stealth sequences don't force you to remain undetected, but they do lead to the poor combat. Cheap AI sees enemies blocking then sucker punching you without a chance of defense. Poor sound effects often cut out and reduce combat's impact, and enemies later on in particular will have you pulling your hair out with unblockable grapples and near impenetrable blocking.
Guy! Oh. Come on, man. I'm not that tough, right?
Bosses, which require mandatory fighting, will push most players to breaking point. The the slew of frustrating stages continues to pile up as you progress. A handful of train sequences, which force you to tag the carriages while dodging lights, but succeeding within a time limit, prove excruciating. A graffiti duel against Gabe, meshing an incredibly tight time limit with constant cutscene interruptions and a limit on drips, leaves you wondering what the developers were thinking. A boss forces you to both weaken them and then grapple them over an edge to interrogate them, the latter of manoeuvres proving tedious to pull off. But the cherry on top is the finale, a multi-stage final brawl which lacks any checkpoints and sometimes saw Train die without any explanation, clearly a bug. And bugged moments are aplenty, with broken sequences forcing a restart, and with such tedious gameplay accompanying it, most will find it not worth the time. Other little things, like the limited graffiti customization and a poorly thought out 2-player brawling mode, diminish Getting Up's pros even more.
The infamous LaSalle Avenue station, Sweet Revenge. Dip, the extra slick one. He always had the latest kicks on, always brand new with his, crisp all the way down to the crease in his pants.
Getting Up's presentation is equally mixed, with poor visuals clashing with excellent audio. Character models look rough, something from a 2002 game rather than one that came very late in the PS2's life, and are only more noticeable during in-engine cutscenes, especially compared to pre-rendered sequences. Environments look a touch better, and animations are pretty decent, but technical stutters flounder these positives. Voice work is pretty strong, despite some questionably written dialogue, sound effects are solid, when they work, and the music is the clear highlight, with a varied and excellent soundtrack that often adds to certain moments really well. There is a cool style here, with the dystopian city of New Radius offering a plethora of locales mixing with graffiti culture, almost like a grittier Jet Set Radio. Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure is a real missed opportunity, one which could have stood out as a title late into the 6th generation. But while a distinctive setting and notable story are certainly worthy of praise, along with outstanding music, these highs are continually undercut by flawed gameplay mechanics, which range from uneven to downright bad. With inconsistent controls, horrendous stealth, and tedious combat, most players will be unable to stomach much of Getting Up before giving up. Unless you're really curious about its Orwellian prize, this one is better left to obscurity.
So they crossed me out, huh? I'ma flip the whole script on them. I couldn't shake it. Everywhere I looked, all I could seem to focus on was spot after spot after spot, and how I was gonna bomb it. It was on, and the subways was my next canvas.